Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koromore Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koromore Toma Pina Ketayalu Jakata samsare Toma bina ketayalo Jakata samsare Patita pavana hetu Tava avatara Patita pavana hetu Tava avatara O samapatita Prabhu Napaibe ara O samapatita Prabhu Napaibe ara Haha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Haha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Palo Kanakoro Ami Bodho Dukhi Kripa Baloka Koro Nidoro Dukhi Daya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava kripa palepai Chaitanya nitai Tava kripa palepai Chaitanya nitai Haha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Swarup Sanatana Paragunata Bhattayuga Shri Chivaha Prabhu Lokanata Tayuga Prabhu Lokanata Daya Koro Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Daya Koro Sri Acharya Ramachandra Sangamake Narottama Dasa Ramachandra Sangha Mage Narottama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koramore Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koramore Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Jaya Gaurahani Jaya Gaurahani Jaya Gaurahani Jaya Gaurahani Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada ki Jai Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we will read from the Madhya Lila, chapter 24. And this is the description of the Atmaram verse. So the 61 explanation of the Atmaram verse. I'm sure most of you will remember when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then, Bhattacharya kind of taught for 7 days, and Mahaprabhu was just listening. And at some point he was asking, you never ask any questions, is everything clear? And he said, yeah, everything is clear, but only your commentaries are like a little bit, it's like the original text is like the sun, but your commentary is like a cloud, it covers the original text. So then he was quite surprised. And then they started to argue, and they spoke about this Atmaram verse, which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explained in 9 different ways. And then Mahaprabhu explained the same shloka in 61 ways. And in this way defeated him, and he could understand this is not an ordinary person, this must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now in this conversation here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatana Goswami wants to hear the same explanation. Mahaprabhu says, I don't know what I spoke. I was like a madman. I can't repeat the 61 But then, of course, then Mahaprabhu starts to speak, and then he again explains to Sanatana Goswami. So what is the Atmaram shloka? Atmaramascha muna yo nirgranta apyarukrame kurvantyai haitukim bhaktim itham buddha guno hari. This is originally from the Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Sudha Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or the self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though free from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract even everyone, even including liberated souls. So basically it means that the Atmaramas, these are the, basically liberated souls. Those are completely detached, and they have no interest in this material world. They have no attraction to this material world. But still, Krishna is so attractive that they become attracted towards Krishna. So Krishna is completely wonderful and transcendental. That's what this shloka describes, and this is the shloka that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya explained, and then Mahaprabhu gave 61 explanations. Like every single Sanskrit word, Atmaram, Cha, Munayo, Nigranta, Api, Urukrame, was kind of analyzed. And in today's shloka, or these few shlokas that we will read, the word Urukrama will be described. Urukrama, which means it refers to Vamana, the Lord who, with 3 steps or 2 steps, covered the whole universe. So we'll talk a little bit about, it's quite a philosophical topic, so we'll just speak a bit about this Aishwarya and Madhurya, which will be mentioned, and then we'll try to bring it on a more practical level also, because the Lord is described here as the maintainer of the whole universe. So we can maybe reflect a little bit on how Krishna maintains us as well, and how, so basically these 2 points. Okay, so text, this is Madhya chapter 24, text 22. Vibhurupe vyapa shakti dhara poshana madhurya shakteya goloka aishwar paravyoma. Okay, I'll just read translation. Through his all-pervasive feature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has expanded the entire creation. He is holding and maintaining this creation by his extraordinary potencies. By his conjugal potencies, he maintains the planetary system known as Goloka Vrindavan. Through his 6 opulences, he maintains many Vaikuntha planets. So it's interesting, it's described that, okay, the Lord has, by his potencies, he creates the material world, but of course he also maintains the spiritual world. And then it's this discrimination that with the Madhurya Shakti, with his sweet conjugal potency, he maintains the spiritual, the Goloka Vrindavan, and by his opulences, Aishwarya, he maintains the Vaikuntha planets. So kind of some discrimination. There's a short purport. In his gigantic form, Lord Krishna has covered the creation. He holds all the planetary systems and maintains them by his inconceivable potencies. Similarly, he maintains his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavan, through his conjugal love, and he is maintaining the spiritual world containing the Vaikuntha planets by his opulences. And I will just read 2 more shlokas with very short purport. Maya Shaktya Brahmanadi Paripatti Srijana Urukrama Sapare E Artha Nirupana. The word Urukrama indicates the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who by his external potency has perfectly created innumerable universes. And then, text 24, Krama Shaktyo Prapadyam Kramas Chalana Kampoyo. These are the different meanings of the word Krama. It is used in the sense of potency, systematic arrangement, step, moving or trembling. And this is a quotation from the Vishwa Prakash Dictionary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive. Not only does he carry the three worlds by his inconceivable energy, but he maintains them also. He is also maintaining his spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan, by his conjugal love, and he is maintaining the Vaikuntha Lokas by his opulence. He maintains the material universe through his external energy. The material universe are perfectly situated because they are created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Bhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So again, the first text. Through his all-pervasive feature, the Supreme Personal Godhead has expanded the entire creation. He's holding and maintaining his creation by his external potency, and by his conjugal potency he maintains the planetary system known as Goloka Vrindavan, and through his opulences he maintains the Vaikuntha planets. So here this discrimination is made, the Madhurya Shakti and the Aishwarya Shakti. And as we know, of course, the Vaikuntha planets are very characteristic by the opulences. There everyone worships Narayan with awe and reverence. Of course they also have some loving relationship is there, but it is kind of mixed with this awe and reverence. Whereas in Vrindavan, everyone is just loving Krishna because he's Krishna, without any discrimination. And it's interesting, it's described that wherever there is this awe and reverence, then the actual love becomes a little shrunken or like influenced, minimized. And that's why the love in Vrindavan is superior and so glorious also. And let's see. Just like to read something here from. This is from Mathura Meets Vrindavan, which describes this topic. Let's see. It's here. Yes, here. So it's described that there is this 5 rasa, no? Shanta, Dhasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. But when Mahaprabhu came to this world, he declared that he will make the whole world dance with the ecstasy given by the 4 rasas. He said, Dhasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. So why did Mahaprabhu discharge Shanta? Because it is the nature of Shanta rasa that not even the smallest intimacy exists. Rather, knowledge of impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma is prominent. So in Shanta rasa, there is no love really. It is very neutral. And therefore, in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, even those living entities that we could say that they are in Shanta, like a tree, because we know everything is alive in Vrindavan. So even a tree, or even some item, we could say that's Shanta. But even these impersonal aspects, they also try to serve Krishna. Like the tree bows down and with its leaves wants to give shadow or offers its fruits. So even those in Shanta actually are in Dasya. They want to serve Krishna. So that's why in Goloka Vrindavan there is actually no Shantarasa. It's all they're all in a loving service mood. And we can see that whenever there is this knowledge about Krishna's greatness, then there is some influence in the love. You know? And we find the example in the Bhagavad Gita. You know, Arjuna, when Arjuna saw the huge universal form of Lord Krishna, what did he do? He apologized. You know, he said, "Oh Krishna, I have addressed you as Krishna, as Yadava, as Shaka, as friend. We have slept together and eaten together. Sometimes I cut jokes with you. So please forgive me." No? And he says, "I have committed some offense. Please excuse me." But you know, in the case of Sudam and Subal and the Gopas in Vrindavan, you know, they would never ask Krishna, "Please excuse me." You know, they're just playing with him and making jokes and so in this way they play with each other. And it's described, they are not afraid of Krishna. They are like Krishna's own limbs. They are like their own, they belong to Krishna. And the example is given, if your food touches your own body, you will never feel anything. But if your food touches someone else's body, then you feel awe and reverence. "Oh, I'm sorry." You know, like if someone walks out of the temple room and with his foot he kicks into someone's body, "Oh, problem, sorry." You know, like we feel. But if I kick in my own body, I mean, there's no question, because it's myself. There's no question of feeling any offense. So the Brijbasis, they are so closely intimate, connected to Krishna. There is no, you know, question of fear or honor, like this feelings of awe and reverence. And another example is given when Krishna took birth in the prison of Kamsa. What did Devaki and Vasudeva do? They offer prayers. First of all, he appeared in a four-handed Vishnu form, and they offer prayers. Have you ever seen Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba offer praise to Krishna? Usually it's not happening there, no? It's she runs with a stick, trying to chastise Krishna. And what is Nanda Baba, you know, saying? Even the boy was only 3 years old. He said, "Bring my wooden sandals," you know. And then Krishna puts the shoes of Nanda Baba on his head, and carries that shoes to Nanda Baba. There's no question of awe and reverence. Oh, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to offer prayers. And because this awe and reverence is absent, there is a much sweeter interaction and loving exchange between them. That's why it's said. Let me see. Aishwarya Jnana Pradhyani Shankuta Priti Dehi Kena Mane Aishwarya Kevalara Riti. So when opulences is prominent, love of God is shrunken. According to Kevalya devotion, however, though the devotee sees unlimited potency of Krishna, he considers himself equal with him. So in Vaikuntha they see the opulence, and then by the opulence they become like, "Oh my God, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead." They offer prayers. But in Vrindavan, even though they see the opulence of Krishna, the love is so great that they are not disturbed by that knowledge. And I believe 2 weeks ago we also spoke about this same topic here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Because if you study the Ragatmika Bhaktas like Nanda Baba, Mother Yashoda, they are generally known as Jnana Shunya Bhaktas. They don't have any knowledge about the greatness of Krishna. But still, we see different pastimes where it's obvious that actually they got some insights. You know, Mother Yashoda looks into the mouth of Krishna and she sees herself, Krishna, the whole universe. So she understood, oh my God, you know, like, and for a short moment there is a doubt, you know, who is Krishna? Is he demigod? Or when, you know, Krishna holds the Govardhan hill for 7 days with his little finger. So Krishna manifests his opulences, but still the Brijbasis, they kind of, because the love is so big, they kind of maintain their love even by this knowledge. And we know that Vaikuntha, the Aishwarya is very great. In Vaikuntha we know that there is great opulences. The whole Vaikuntha, huge palaces and everything is very opulent. But actually, and then we look at Goloka Vrindavan, it's like a village of, you know, cowherd people, you know, boys, and it's a village, it's countryside. But actually Vrindavan is much more opulent than Vaikuntha. You know? It's much more opulent than Vaikuntha. How is that? The analogy is given, if you take 1 cup of water and you put 1 spoon of salt inside, how will it taste? Salty. So but if you put even if you put 1 or 3 spoons of salt, but then if you put 15, 20 spoons of sugar inside, how will it taste? Sweet. And actually many drinks, they are sweet, but they may also have a little salt just to make it more catchy, the taste. But because there is so much sweetness, then the salt is not experienced much. So similarly, actually Vrindavan, there is much more opulence. There are many more spoons of salt, we can say. It's much more opulent than Vaikuntha. But because on the top there is so much sweetness also there, then that opulence is not really so much experienced, or it's not so much in the focus, because it's Madhurya, it's the sweetness, it's the love which is there. And there's many leelas which show this. As I said, even they know, but they don't care so much about it. Like there's one pastime. As we know, when the gopas, they play together, sometimes they wrestle, and then when someone loses, then the loser has to carry the winner on their shoulders, right? And that's like a daily pastime going on in Golok Vrindavan. And so one day Krishna was the loser, and then he had to carry Sridham. So he said, "Today I will not carry Sridham." And then they say, "Why not? I'm the son of the king. No, I'm the son of the king. Why should I carry someone else?" And they argued, "Well, just because your father has a few more cows than our father." Okay, but I'm not only the son of the king, but I'm God. I'm the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna says. And the Gopas say, "What is this? Come on." "No, I'm God, Can you show it?" "Yes. Close your eyes." So they close their eyes, and then Krishna manifests his all his Aishwarya, all his opulences, and all the gopas, they see Lord Narayan, laying on the Ananta Shesha, and all the devas, they offer prayers, and the different beings, they offer Jamara and all opulences, and so they see, oh my God, Krishna is really God, and then Krishna, withdraws his vision, and they looked at Krishna. "Okay, today you don't have to carry, but tomorrow, if you don't carry, then we never play again with you." So in this way, for a short moment, they have they see, okay, Krishna is God, but then it's kind of, who cares? It's Krishna, it's our friend, because the sweetness, the Madhurya, is so much bigger than this Aishwarya. So that's one aspect, and here in these slokas that we read, it's described that the spiritual world is maintained by the Lord, the material world is maintained, and the spiritual world, the Goloka, Vrindavan, is maintained by his Madhurya Shakti, by his sweetness, and the Vaikuntha planets are maintained by his Aishwarya, by that aspect of the Lord. Okay, so, but as I said, maybe we can try to talk about something which is a bit more also practical for our life. One aspect which is mentioned in this shlokas is that the Lord is the maintainer of the entire universe. So if the Lord maintains the whole universe, he certainly maintains also us, right? He's maintaining actually every living entity. Prabhupada often would give the example, all the animals, they don't work, they don't have a job, but they're still maintained, And Krishna maintains the big elephant. I don't know how many kgs of, but many, I don't know, hundreds of kgs of leaves or something. The elephants, they eat, and even the small ants that need a few grains of sugar or something. But the Lord maintains all living entities, so certainly He will maintain us as well. This is also what Krishna promises. Especially He will maintain His devotees, of course. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupashyate tesham nityabhyaktanam yogakshemam vihamyaham. That but those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. That's Krishna's promise, that He will always maintain, especially those His devotees who are very much absorbed in His transcendental form and pastimes. You know, the word, this is 922. And the word paryupashate, properly worship, those who worship him properly, like, and nityabhyuktanam, always fixed in devotion. You know, of course, that indicates a very deep absorption, deep devotion. Indicate devotees' absorption in pure Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada in the purport says that one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness, one who is unable to live for a moment. Baladev Vidyabhushana in another text gives the example of a fish, and Prabhupada often used that example. If you take a fish out of the water, the fish can't survive long, you know. So similarly, a devotee who has, you know, who you know, Krishna becomes his life and soul, he actually cannot live without Krishna, just as a fish cannot live without water. And just as young boys are attracted to young girls, and the other way around, and very naturally, so a devotee always feels very much attracted to Krishna. And for such a devotee, he always will think about Krishna 24 hours. So one being engaged in devotional service, by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other service, cultivating friendship and surrendering fully to the Lord. So with such determination, they practice sadhana, and in this way they are so much absorbed in sadhana that they don't worry so much about their maintenance and also not about their liberation. And Krishna is very happy to provide their maintenance and also their liberation. And some may ask, so what kind of devotee would give Krishna the burden to maintain them? But actually Krishna likes to maintain his devotees. That's the point. And of course there is the well-known story of Arjuna Acharya. Yeah, you all know the story, Arjuna Acharya. Prabhupada often tells it. There was this Brahmana, he was writing commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, right? Yeah, you know that story. And then he came across this shloka, 922. So he saw that word vahami, that means I carry, that I personally carry what my devotees lack. And then he said, this must be a mistake. So he kind of crossed it and then wrote down karomi, not vahami, but karomi. I have it done, you know, by someone else or by my energies. It's kind of, no, everything is done by my energies. Krishna is just playing the flute, dancing with the gopis, and everything is done by his energies. It's not that Krishna personally comes and takes care of some of his devotees. It's done by his energies. That was the intellectual speculation of Arjuna Acharya. So he, you know, added it in his commentary of the Gita. And we know then, because he was quite poor, so he went out for begging some alms so that his wife could cook some lunch. But then when he was absent, two beautiful boys knocked at the door, and they brought all of kind of foods, but they were quite in a hurry, so please take, before your husband comes back and again beats us. And she was surprised, my husband had beaten you? And she didn't believe, and then they showed the back, and there were some scars of beating. So the wife was quite bewildered, so she took the foodstuff, started to cook something, and then she ate herself. And when Arjuna Acharya came back, he was shocked. You know, why do you always started eating? You know, Vedic culture, usually the wife first serves the husband, but she already ate. And then she chastised him. Why did you beat these boys? And, what were you talking? These two beautiful boys came. One was blackish, one was whitish, and they brought some food. And then they told me that you have beaten them. And then he slowly started to realize, you know, these two boys, they were Krishna and Balaram. And you're so fortunate that you got the personal darshan of the Lord. And he realized that he did a mistake. Because by scratching the Gita, actually he beaten Krishna, because Krishna is not different from his words. And Krishna personally wanted to prove that actually, no, I personally carry what my devotees lack. It's not that I do it to someone else, but it's my pleasure. It's my, you know, that's what I like to do. I like to take care of my devotees. So, but maybe we can, in this way, Krishna is always very eager to maintain his devotees. But our problem is, as conditioned souls, sometimes we're having doubts, or we're not really having so much faith in that, right? What could be some symptoms of someone who has no faith that Krishna will maintain him. How would that manifest in his practical life? Someone who has not so much faith.
He collects many things and works hard.
Okay, yes, he collects a lot, and it's interesting because in the Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami speaks about things which are unfavorable for devotional service, no? And this is Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha. But the first two, Atyahara Prayasascha, like eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, and also over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. These are two obstacles for bhakti, and that's exactly what you do if you don't have faith. Like you collect more, and you endeavor a lot, you work very hard because you want to make sure that you can maintain yourself, your family, like that. And Prabhupada gives the example that everyone requires possessions such as food, grains, clothes, money, and other things necessary for the maintenance of the body, but one should not collect more than necessary for his actual basic needs. And then Prabhupada gives the example that if someone places a bag of rice somewhere on the street, what happens? A few birds will come, they pick a few grains and then take it and go. Whatever they need, they take it and go. But what happens if a human comes? He take it all, and he keeps it for himself, right? I mean, if he would distribute it, okay, that's one thing. But usually, I take it and it's mine, And that mentality to store something, to collect things and to hoard it, it's very It's very typical for conditioned souls, And also, it can take crazy forms. I've heard, especially in America, they have an interesting culture in America. People they buy so many things. Someone here from America? No. I've heard, they collect so many things, and then they have to rent, storerooms to just put all their stuff, and having several cars and just buying so much stuff, and that the whole thing, just to feel satisfied, they're just buying things and buying stuff, but things you don't really need. Now there is this the other way around. Now there is a culture of minimalism. No? Some people they realize this whole thing doesn't make you happy if you just buy stuff and get stuff. So they go the other direction. And I've seen some documentary. Some people I saw one guy, he possesses 64 items. It's an interesting number also, spiritual number, 64. And these items are all black. So he has black pants, shirt, and then his laptop, and but everything is black, and he only has 64, and that's all he has. And he travels around, and but it's interesting. So some people have these tiny houses, has become very fashionable. People want to live in a small place just because it's easier to live. You know what you have. And I'm sure you all have made this experience. Sometimes if you clean up your room and just see what do I actually need. And there's so many things we actually don't need, but we still keep them. Yeah, I have some memory of it, this and that. So we are holding on all these things. But when we actually, throw things away and clean up, it feels so good. It feels so relieving. So that's why sometimes it's good to just make a clean up and whatever we don't need. So but yeah, thank you, Yamuna. So if someone has not faith that Krishna maintains us, then certainly the people will over-endeavor, they will collect many things. What else could be? Yeah?
They might also collect emotionally, so just not opening up to anyone and just store all the emotions inside and not go of any negative or positive emotions.
Okay, that's interesting. Not only the gross things, but also emotionally, psychologically, they may start to hold back. They're not, maybe they become a little miserly. They're not so easily giving or sharing. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stop chanting.
Sorry?
They stop chanting.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah.
Because you can know a person's faith when they are in a difficult situation, how much faith they have. Because everything when you have good, everything is nice. when you know Krishna puts us in the difficulty, that's what we admit, that we are still having faith in him and we still, you know, continue on our path. So that's why there's also this verse in Bhagavatam, this Satyam Vikampa.
Right, right. Yeah, that's interesting. Some people who don't have enough faith that Krishna actually maintain them, they think, I don't have time for spiritual life so much. You know, I don't have time to chant all my rounds. I mean, I chant 4 rounds, it's good enough, because I have to work in order to maintain myself, my family. So we could, you know, compromise our spiritual practice because I don't have faith in Krishna. Yes, and of course, such a person would be in anxiety. You know, like, do I have enough? Can I get you know, I don't earn enough, and so always anxiety are there. So what could be symptoms of someone who has actually faith? Of course, just the opposite. But any thought? Yeah.
I think do things detached in a way. Okay, I give my best, and then let's see what becomes. Because anyway, I will do my best.
Right. So there is, you know, I do my job. I'll see what I can do, and rest is up to Krishna. There is some detachment. Yeah, some detachment. Some, you know, there's not so much anxiety in a sense, because you know Krishna is there. Krishna will help, because that's what he promised. Yeah. Anything else?
He becomes more introspective and aware of his own faults.
Becomes more introspective because he's not so much busy with collecting and working hard.
He also knows that higher powers are, you know,
Okay.
he's in charge, and whatever happens, you know, he's not disturbed, but he finds hope
With him. So he will be more introspective. Okay. Yeah.
Focus on important thing, because I know it's also kind of useful to get money or something, but if you know, okay, as it will come, then
Yeah.
we can focus on the spiritual.
Yeah, he will be free from anxiety. He will not be so greedy or so attached, and we will focus more on the spiritual practice, because that's what is my main duty, to focus on my spiritual practice, and then Krishna will take care for the rest. And there are other stories also which exemplify this. There's one story which was also told by Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, the story of Nrsimha Mehta. Nrsimha Mehta was also a simple brahmana, and he had one daughter which was in a marriageable age. And as you know, in India, the parents become quite nervous if the daughter is not married at some point. And then, so the wife became very upset with the husband. You're always worshipping your Krishna and doing your puja, but you're not taking care of our family business. Your daughter needs to get married. And then he said, okay, I will pray to Krishna that we get a suitable husband. And the wife, again, she was kind of a bit disturbed that she's only praying. But then he prayed, and the next day a very nice, respectable man from the village came and he offered his son. And it was a very good match. And then the wife was very pleased. Oh, your prayers worked. Very nice. They sent a very, very good husband for our daughter. But then the astrologer made calculation and said the best day for the marriage is in 4 days. As we know, marriage takes a lot of preparation, especially in India, because they have several days marriage, and also the father of the daughter has to give these mid-gifts, like give some opulences, a lot of wealth to the family of the son. And he was a poor brahmana. I said, oh my God, so what can I do in 4 days? So the wife, gave some jewelries. That's usually in Vedic culture. That's, the wife has a lot of gold, and then if it's needed, then they can sell it. So she gave the jewelries to the husband. So now you go and you get some money and especially get all the ingredients that we need for the marriage. So he went and he was chanting the holy name and depending on Krishna. And then he came across, there was a, how you call it in India, they have this 7 days Bhagavatam Katha. Bhagavatam? Shabda, Bhagavatam Shabda, 7 days of, and it was just the first day, and the speaker spoke about Krishna, the beautiful form of Krishna, beautiful qualities, like in a Bhakti retreat. His Holiness Satchidananda Maharaj will speak about the sweet qualities of Lord Krishna. So one Baba was speaking, and that Nrsimha Mehta, he became so attracted by this Krishna Katha. He just sat down and listened, and he listened and listened. He became completely blissful, and he just listened Krishna Katha for 7 days. And when the katha was over, everyone went home, and he kind of realized, oh my God, what is the date? Oh my God, I missed the marriage. So he was, oh my God. And then he went home, and then when he came, he already saw some villagers, and they greeted him. Oh, the marriage of your daughter was so grandiose, so wonderful. He was like, what happened? So he came home, and the wife embraced him. Oh, the marriage was so wonderful. But I came late. What, you came late? You came just in time, and you brought all the ingredients, and everyone glorified. This was the most glorious marriage ceremony that ever was held in our village. Everyone glorified. You did such a wonderful job. You're the best husband. He's like, okay. So Krishna stepped in, because he was so much absorbed in just, listening Krishna Katha. Then Krishna, okay. So he stepped in and took care of everything. So that's another story. And Gaur Govinda Maharaj emphasized, this is a true story. This is a true story from Orissa. It's not some... So in this way... of course, these are quite extreme examples in a sense of, you could also misunderstood it as they're just neglecting their duties, just like a little bit spaced out, he was just spaced out. But it's not that kind of, sometimes we have some devotees who are spaced out and they don't care of their family duties. But these are examples of devotees who are actually on that platform of pure devotional service, and Krishna becomes so attracted by their devotion that actually Krishna personally takes care. Another example we find with, it's also well known, Srivas Pandit, because he was also, the kirtans took place in Srivas Pandit's house. They were always absorbed in glorifying the Lord. So one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, I see that you never go anywhere. You don't go, you don't work, you don't have a job, you don't go for begging some food. So how do you maintain your family? And then Srivas replied, oh Lord, in my heart, there is no desire to go anywhere. I just want to be at home and worship the Lord, and that's all. But you have a big family. If you don't do anything, how will you maintain them? Then he said, whatever destiny happened, that will come. Then the Lord said, you should take sannyas. And then Shiva said, no, that's not in my power. I can't take sannyas. So then, but if you don't take sannyas, then you should take care of your family. You should go and do something. I don't understand what you say. And then, what did Srivas do? Yeah, he clapped 3 times in his hands. And the Mahaprabhu, what is this 3 times clapping? What does it mean? 1, 2, 3. This is my solemn vow. If 3 times food does not come to me, and I must fast, then I will tie a water pot around my neck and drown myself in the Ganga. It's quite an extreme vow, no? You just sit at home, you don't do anything, and you just depend on Krishna. And if Krishna is not providing any food for you and your family, after 3 days you just, jump in the Ganga. So then what did Mahaprabhu say? Srivas Pandit, what are you saying? Why should you fast 3 times? Even if someday Goddess Lakshmi becomes poverty-stricken and has to beg alms, poverty still will not enter your house. So he made that promise. That actually, you're so dear to me because your devotion is so fixed. I will never, let it happen. I will always take care of you. Ye ye yana chinta mura anyanya hayaya tare bhiksha dhena muni mataya bahiya ye more eni nai yahaha kura dvare apana ashiya sarva siddhi mene tare. To anyone who always meditates on me with exclusive devotion, I carry alms for them on my head. Anyone who meditates on me need never leave his door. All perfections will come to him automatically. Piety, wealth, happiness, and liberation will come to him. My servant need not to ask for them. They will never leave my servant. My Sudarshan Chakra will always protect my servant. Even when the universe are destroyed, he will not be perished. Whoever remembers my devotee, I will feed and protect. So in this way, Mahaprabhu kind of confirms to Srivas that No, because you have so much devotion to me, I will always maintain and protect you. And maybe we can end with this. Of course, we also who was it? I think both Maharaj spoke about Sharanagati, right? We heard about Sharanagati these days. That to accept everything which is favorable, to reject what is unfavorable, and to accept Krishna as the only maintainer and the only protector, and to surrender oneself and humility. These are the 6 symptoms of Sharanagati. So someone who's really surrendered to Krishna, he will have developed this mentality that Krishna will take care. I'll just read from 2 songs, some of the lines here. Daraputra nicha deha kutamba palane sarvada yukala ami chinu mane mane. I was fully engrossed in taking care of my wife, my sons, my body, and my other family members. Such thoughts always filled my mind. I was always thinking about how can I maintain, and then by that always thinking of these things. Maybe I didn't got time to read Bhagavatam, I didn't got time to chant my rounds, because of always anxiety. I was always thinking about how to earn money, how to achieve name and fame, and how to get my daughters and sons married. Now I have surrendered myself at your lotus feet. I have nothing to worry about. It is your family, and so you will surely take care of it. And that also sounds very simplistic in a way. It's your family, so you take care. But actually it's a very deep realization, deep consciousness, that one understands, this is not my wife, this is not my children, or this is not my husband. It's actually a servant of Krishna, and I'm just serving them. And it's actually Krishna's family. Oh Lord, please maintain me by considering me to be your servant. I experience great pleasure while serving your lotus feet. Everything is carried out by your sweet will, but the foolish living entities say that they are doing everything. So in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur surrenders, and then in another song, he considered himself a dog. That's also interesting. He says, I have surrendered everything at your lotus feet, and in this way I have come to your house. Now you are my master, and I am your dog. Kindly treat me in this way. So this house is your house, and I'm your dog, so you should treat me like a dog. Please tie me up and keep me at your doorstep. In this way kindly maintain me. I will not allow any envious people to come to your house, but rather drive them far away. This is what a dog is doing. Dog is barking and protecting the house. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I'm your dog in front of your house, and I will bark, make sure nobody enters. Whatever food your associates leave behind after honoring your remnants, that will my daily meal, and I will relish it with great happiness. Whether I'm sitting or sleeping, I will always be meditating on your lotus feet. Whenever you call me, I will come to you dancing. I will never bother about my maintenance, as I always remain absorbed in ecstatic love. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur accepts you as a sole maintainer. So just as a dog completely depends on his master to be maintained, so similarly Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I'm like your dog, and that's why you should maintain me. That's like a very nice meditation, to become a dog of Krishna, or a dog of Krishna's devotees. And in this way, have no anxiety that actually Krishna surely will always maintain me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, it's 8:30. I think they will serve prasadam. So, thank you very much. Grantaraj Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Grace Krishna Premarupa Prabhu Ki Jai.
Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai.
Ich nehme an,
Das
das ist auch der Unterschied zwischen den.
Also, genau, also im Sinn von, dass so Raum schafft oder nicht.
Aber es ist nicht, also, wie soll ich sagen, es ist nicht schlecht, also, okay, das ist halt,
Ich meine, also,
klar, es ist.
im Prinzip, bei Kunta oder in Brindavan, die, die sind vollständig Christen und zurück was für Beziehungen zwischen physischen Prozessen. Und das ist transzendental spirituell für die Hebel. Aber, wenn man keine Ahnung hat, dann gibt es das auch spirituelle Dimension, tiefer schauen, wo in der Kiefer tiefer und die höchsten Geschlechter oder was für die Wurzel ist.
Nicht, dass es. Okay. Yes,
I was asking everyone, where are you?
Do you need it now? Do you need it now?
Not like immediately, but I don't know.
Because it's still filled with the rock from the lockdown, so I have to empty it first. Yeah, yeah.
The museum, but it's disappears there.
I'll just put it on the ground. Yeah, and then the flash is separate. But the flash that's in the...
They have already some images today, and that's why something has to be. But I took the machine for the car, but they didn't have an extra one.
I do, yeah. Okay, then I'll prepare the cash, put some cash in it. And
I didn't find how to print some receipts.
I will leave it in the office, and then
You just write on the
yeah.
I left you two messages on the answering sheet.
This morning or?
Yeah, so this one.
Ah.
Thank you.